Friends, we're going to be reciting a Mishaberach, a prayer on behalf of Gilad in the prayer that he soon come home. We know his fate and he come home. But before doing so, I wanted to say a few words directly to the enemy, directly to Hamas. Just as we gathered and we spoke directly to the Soviet modern czars, and we let our feelings and our commitments be known, so too I have a couple of choice words for Hamas. And then I have a challenge for America itself. The words to Hamas are very simple. Do the humanitarian thing. The International Red Cross, that is no friend of Israel, the International Red Cross has now reported that it has seen every single prisoner who has been taken, who has been incarcerated in the Middle East conflict. They have visited and seen everyone except for one individual. They have seen every prisoner except for Gilad Shalit. Now think about that. The reason why they have seen everyone is because the prisoners are in fact in Israeli hands. Israel would much prefer not holding these individuals as prisoners, but we are in war and prisoners are taken. So Israel does the humanitarian thing and opens up its prisons, and as the Red Cross itself has said, they have visited every single prisoner. But Hamas, we point a finger at you. The one prisoner who has not been visited is the one that you have incarcerated, that you have taken hostage, that you have kidnapped. And that person is, of course, Gilad Shalit. And the world is watching. The world is watching and demanding that you do the humanitarian thing. I have a simple principle. That principle of spiritual activism is the following. You can tell the weight and the value and the moral sensitivities, the ethical consciousness of a person, not by the way the person treats the whole world. It's simple to love the whole world, because when you love the whole world, you really don't have to love anyone. The test of the way you love everyone is the way you love someone. The test of the way a person cares about the world is the way one treats one individual, one person. And the way Hamas, ostensibly carrying themselves as humanitarians and humanitarian all kinds of flotillas, this humanitarian group is in fact the lowest depths of that which is not humanitarian. Because the way you can assess the value of a person in its treatment of everyone is the way it treats someone, the way it treats one person. And so I offer this challenge. The challenge is to America. And the challenge is especially to people in leadership in America. Those who are now in power, or those who want to be in power or have been in power. Here's the challenge. I'd like to see a flotilla, not on the waters, but by land. I'd like to see a group of people who are well known, perhaps led by former President Bill Clinton. Let him lead the group. He cares so much about humanitarian values, then let him lead a group. Let that group be joined by leaders today in the Senate, by leaders today in the House. Let them be joined by people on the political right and the political left. Because the issue of Gilad Shalit is not a political issue. It is a humanitarian issue. And let them come. Let them come with Elie Wiesel. Let them come with Nobel laureates. Let them walk to the border of Gaza. And let them demand entry before the cameras of the world, to demand entry into Gaza and to be taken to see Gilad Shalit. That's the challenge. We turn to Gilad's parents. We turn to his Ima Aviva. We turn to his Abba Noah. Individuals we had a chance to see, they live in a town up north in Israel called Hila. I know some of the Chevra. I remember when we saw Karnit Goldwasser after her husband Udi was kidnapped 4 years ago. And as we left, she said, "I want to take a picture with you." And when I said I'm a little bit uncomfortable doing this, she said, "Udi's coming home tomorrow. He's coming home the next day. I want him to see who visited us. I want him to see who cared about us." And I remember turning to some of the Chevra and I'm saying, she really doesn't understand what this is all about. And the next time she saw Udi, she saw him coming home in a box just last year. With this so-called humanitarian enemy not even sharing with Karnit, Udi's husband, whether her husband was alive or dead until the last moment. To Noam Shalit, who is now walking from Hila. He is walking by foot with thousands of people, and they're making their way to Yerushalayim, to the Knesset, where they'll be camping out. We want you, Noam and Aviva, to know you are not alone. We can never understand your pain. I look at our grandson Gilad, taller than I am, stronger than I am, who prepares now to go into the Israeli army. And I do think, what would I do if, God forbid, we would be in that situation? I can't imagine. I can't imagine what it is for a parent, for a mother and a father. War is war. In war you take prisoners. That's what war is. Maybe they don't consider it a kidnapping. They consider him a prisoner. Okay. But there are rules of war. There's common decency of war. There are Geneva codes. And why does the world raise its voice as Israel properly defends itself against this flotilla? Ships that could very well indeed have individuals with all kinds of weapons and clubs and knives and what have you. And the world, the larger world in relative terms, is basically silent on this basic humanitarian issue. And so to Aviva, to Noam, אנחנו עומדים איתכם, אנחנו משתדלים להגיש את כאבכם. We are trying to feel, we cannot feel your pain. Only you can understand it. And so in our small, tiny way, we are standing with you. We stand a symbolic group of millions of others, literally. We stand on the 4th anniversary of your son's kidnapping. We stand with young children who are the epitome of having just been born just a few years ago. The closer you are to that moment in life, the more innocence you carry. We stand with those of innocence. We stand with people of all ages, and we raise a voice. It's the voice of the Bible. Ukratem dror ba'aretz l'chol yoshveha. The time has come to speak out and to shout out for freedom for Gilad Shalit. The time has come for Gilad, whose name in the Bible is the symbol of peace between Jacob and Lavan, who build a Gilad, a Gal-ed between them. That's what Gilad means. The time has come. The time has come for the world and for your family, Gilad, to see you. And once they see you, let that be the harbinger of a real Gal-ed, of a real Gilad, of real and true peace. And so let's join together in a tefillah for our brother, about whom we declare as David spoke about Jonathan in the Bible. Sarli alecha, David said, Jonathan achi. I feel distressed, Jonathan, my brother. To Gilad we say,